Fisheries Administrative Order. Article 12. Fisheries Research. States should recognize that responsible fisheries requires the availability of sound scientific basis to assist the fisheries manager and other interested parties in making decisions. Therefore, states should ensure that appropriate research is conducted into all aspects of fisheries including biology, ecology, technology, environmental science, economics, social science, aquaculture, and natural science. States should ensure the availability of research facilities and provide appropriate training, staffing, and institution building to conduct the research, taking into account the special needs of developing countries. States should establish an appropriate institutional framework to determine the applied research which is required and its proper use. This means that researchers should make an institutional framework in order to determine the applied research. States should ensure that data gathered by research and are analyzed, that the results of such analysis are published, respecting confidentiality, are appropriate and distributed in timely and readily understood fashion in order that the best scientific evidence is made available as a contribution of fisheries conservation, management, and development. In the absence of adequate scientific information, appropriate research should be initiated as soon as possible. States should collect reliable and accurate data which are required to assess the status of fisheries and ecosystem, including data and bycatch, discards, and waste. Where appropriate, this data should provide that at appropriate time and level of aggregation to relevant state and subregional, regional, and global fisheries organization. In this case, in order to assess the status of fisheries and ecosystem, the teacher should gather relevant study that includes the data sample in bycatch, discard, and waste. States should be able to monitor and assess the state of the stock under their jurisdiction, including the impact of ecosystem changes resulting from fishing pressure, pollution, or habitat alteration. They should also establish the research capacity necessary to assess the effect of climate or environmental change in fish stock and aquatic ecosystem. States should support and strengthen the national research capabilities to meet acknowledged scientific standards. State, States, as appropriate in cooperation with relevant international organizations, should encourage research to ensure optimum utilization of fishery resources and stimulate the research required to support national policies related to fish as food. States should conduct research into and monitor human food supplies from aquatic sources and environment from which they are taken, and ensure that there is no adverse health on consumers. The result of such research should be made publicly available. States should ensure that the economic and social marketing institutional aspect of fisheries are adequately researched and that comparable data are generated for ongoing monitoring, analysis, and policy formulation. States should carry out studies on the selectivity of fishing gear, the environmental impact of fishing gear and target species on the behavior of target and non-target species, on relation to such fishing gear is an aid for management decisions, and a view of minimizing non-utilized catches as well as safeguarding the biodiversity of ecosystem and the aquatic habitat. In this in this case, the states also have responsible to gather data on the selectivity of fishing gear, the environmental impact of fishing gear on target species, and on the behavior of target and on target not non-target species. This could be help as a basis on making decisions so what fishing gear should be allowed.